have approval to take the river water, right?
Approval? The river is on my property, and land, is my land.
Partner, the land is still the island. It's all of we have to live here. The soil runoff will silt up the river. The fertilizer will grow weeds and cause flood when season starts. Plus the water resource is for everyone, not just your crop. You don't realize the climate is changing?
Look, I don't care about all of that. It's my land, my crops, and my water. No one can tell me what to do.
This is our land, and climate change is changing the challenges we face as a nation. Land management technique, water resource protection, and flood and drought mitigation is for everyone who lives on this land. Our island. Be a part of the change. A message of hope from Island Resilience, promoting a climate of change.
This is my land, my island, our home. It's time to come together to keep her forever resilient and strong.
Island Resilience, promoting a climate of change. The Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainable Land Management Initiative of the OECS Commission, funded by the European Union.
Go to islandresilience.org for more information or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Mavis White Archibald with your safety tip for today. Install smoke alarms on every level of your home, inside bedrooms and outside sleeping areas. Test smoke alarms every month. If they are not working, change the batteries.
This message was brought to you by ZIZ and the St. Kitts Nevis Fire Department.
All right, welcome back to the morning show, or At Work Network segment. And right now it's time for our fire discussion each and every Tuesday morning. And in the studio with me, I have fire officers, fire senior officers. They're having their own conversation right now. Yeah, see that? They ain't raised the mic on, you know. Yeah, they told them. Yeah, the mic on, you know. The deep into. Go. Yeah. Fire substation officer. Right. Oh gosh, that's why I asked them. They told them. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Jacob. Good morning, listening audience.
Good morning.
Yes. So last week we had a very informative discussion, which was timely, which I appreciate you guys for doing. Seeing that we were, expecting a storm at that particular time. So what's on the agenda for this morning now?
All right, so we're gonna finish up the evacuation plan.
Okay.
That's the thought about today.
Right.
So putting all the pieces together, making sure that everybody understand what it entails to create an evacuation plan, get it together, have us come and even run some drills with them, all that.
Okay.
We're gonna make it a soup.
Oh. I realize that's his go-to these days, the soup pot. Yeah, so over to you. You can start the discussion. If you want to start from a wrap-up from before, or you want to get right into the topic today, it's your choice.
We're going to jump into what we have right now, and then we could always tie in to the others.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so the last thing we want to touch base on is looking at other persons who would come and do work for your establishment. You might have an establishment that contracts persons to come and do other work. Mm-hmm. Now they too have to fall in line with your evacuation plan. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm going to draw this example. Now, Cajola, and I hope it's okay to call the name, but Cajola is one of the companies that when I look at them, there is a company that emulates safety. Safety is paramount on their list. So even if I was an outside contractor who come to do whether some electrical work or some carpentry or something, I have to dress appropriately once I am entering their premises. So I cannot come in let's say, some joggers with my toes exposed. I have to wear the appropriate shoes in order to be on the premises. So we're asking persons, so when you create this evacuation plan, keep these things in mind so that persons who come to do work on your premises, they automatically come under the safety protocols that you have established. So if I show up on your job not wearing the proper shoes, say, look, I'm sorry, you cannot do work for me today. You would have to come back when you're appropriately dressed. Right.
Okay. All right.
So, because these persons might be maybe contractors for different aspects of your business, or maybe temporary workers who may be coming from time to time to do something specific and leave. It is critically important that you do not leave them out, because they should not walk into your business place not knowing what to do in the event of an emergency. They must know, and you should not be able to tell the difference between who is temporary and who is permanent. Everybody should just flow as if we are all here, permanent. So what you know as a permanent worker, I know as a temporary worker, or what you might want to call it, a part-time worker. I should know what you know as it relates to the plan, so that everybody and they will have a safe and successful evacuation. The contractors as well who come in, maybe you have a contractor who deal with your AC system, maybe you have a contractor that deals with your electrical system. They would need to know exactly how to operate when they hear that emergency siren, alarm, whatever it is goes off. It should not come as a surprise to them, because they will say like, what sound is that, what is that? But they will not respond to it because they're not familiar with what it is. Especially if they're in an area where they're not seeing persons leaving. They hear the sound, but I don't know what that is. I have my work to do, I have my money to make. But because I'm not seeing the people leaving, I don't know. I will not respond. So it is important that they too understand and they come familiarize. So maybe 1 or 2 times when you're having your practice evacuation drills, invite them to come. Have them be a part of the drill so they understand the ins and outs, which section should go to what exits and that type of stuff, so you don't have a confusion. Right, so that too is critically important. Yes, and also you have to make sure that your plan, it incorporates and it will be able to facilitate persons with special needs, disabled workers, other people who may need assistance to evacuate.
Bring the mic closer so we can hear.
Yes.
You can relax, but just bring the mic closer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So you will need to incorporate maybe like ramps to facilitate wheelchairs. And depend on how, even if you may have persons working in your establishment with a disability, you would need to make sure that you don't just have all stairs. You have ramps that would easily facilitate a wheelchair, and depend on the extent of depend on how many disabled persons you may have, because they're just disabled. Legs, but nothing wrong with their mind.
So physically challenged.
Right, yes. So you may need to put in maybe like lifts, like elevators, specifically for persons with wheelchairs, or persons who might not be able to ascend and descend stairs. And so you will need to factor all of this into your evacuation, especially when the actual evacuation is taking place. When you're practicing, don't leave them out, because you have to make sure you have a plan that would enable their safety out of that building. So whatever it is, they must be factored in. And that too is critically important, that every life is accounted for. Right? So those are two of the really important things that we need to take into consideration. And we call these unique work situations. Right? Because it's something that is unique to a specific business. It's not every business would have that. So, yeah.
Okay. Anything else to add, Timothy?
Yes, well, in terms of persons who...
You two can bring the mic closer if you want.
In terms of persons who are deemed disabled, physically challenged, if you want to, persons, someone who might just have undergone an operation, for example, we know that person on a normal basis is moving around briskly and so forth, but because of, let's say, a minor surgery or whatever it is, they are not able to move as fast now. So we have to keep those persons in mind as well. So have someone there to aid them in getting evacuating effectively and efficiently.
All right. That's it for the final plan? Or?
Well, in terms of the persons protecting their assets, certain businesses, they deal with sensitive information. Let's use a bank, for example. Now, we're putting physical items secondary to life, okay? So life is of the paramount importance. But let's say for a bank, for example, who deals with people, personal information, their land papers or whatever sensitive documents that they might have, it would be good for that institution to have, like, let's say, a vault, they have some fireproof cabinets and so. So whoever it is can quickly just grab those documents, put them in whatever safe area, and then they make their exit. So we have to consider these type of documents and so in your evacuation plan, especially
instead of just throwing up your hand and just going, okay, fire.
Right.
Okay.
Find every avenue of safeguarding people's personal belongings and so. Mind you, life comes before these items. So if it is a case where your life is in immediate danger, by all means, you get out. But if you could find that 5 minutes, not 5 minutes, but a few seconds, just to put those items in a cabinet of some sort, and you make your way out, is good.
If you can.
If you can.
Yeah. What might be even more, what should I say? Make it easier is if you have these items stored. That is where they are stored. So whenever you need them, that is where you go to get them. When you're finished with them, you put them back. So in the event of a fire-related emergency, they are already stored in a fireproof or whatever it is that would have them protected in the event of a fire. I know there are some workplaces, they're dealing with a case, and sometimes, okay, well, I'm going to have to come back to this tomorrow, so I'll just leave it on the desk. But the fire breaks out and everything is lost. Life safety comes first. But if these documents are affected, they can be replaced. But how soon? And they may affect life for some time before you could even get these documents replaced. So we would recommend that if you have a safe area where these are normally stored, keep them there as often as you could. Because when you're gone, you don't know what would happen. That place could go up in flames when you're out. But if you have a fireproof, safe cabinet, like Mr. Martin would have mentioned, that you can keep all your important documents and what's not in those safes, even when you're out at night, that would increase your chances of protecting these critical, important documentation that you would have. Yeah.
Gentlemen, I know it's a challenge to get people in the mindset of preparing for the worst, if I can put it that way. For whatever reason, we seem to have a culture of, you only plan for the worst when the worst is coming. And if the worst ain't coming, why are we worrying about the worst? We should be worrying about it, right?
Yeah.
So I know that's a challenge within itself to get people to change the mindset and say, hey, I know the worst is not coming now, but at least I have a plan. And you don't have to do it every week. You could do it, maybe every 3 months or wherever you choose to do it. So that way you won't be reminded all the time of the worst, if you could put it that way.
You don't know when the worst will come.
Yeah, indeed.
For some, it's a hurricane. For some, it's a fire. So you don't know what your worst will be.
Yeah. It's called a blind side, right?
Right.
Indeed. Gentlemen, anything else you want to add before we open the lines, or you want me to open the lines now?
You could open the line.
All right, so 465-2555, that's 2555. And for those of you who are viewing the program, you can send your message via BIP. I have my message board open right now. If you don't have BIP, you can download it. You can find it in the Google Play Store and the Apple Store. And the number to add is 767-3671. All right, so while we wait for our interaction with the callers this morning, let's have a quick summary of everything that we shared with our listeners over the few weeks, with your permission, of course.
Okay, so from the one when we started this our sessions on creating an evacuation plan, we would have gone over a few steps. So we'll basically just do a recap for those who might not have tuned in at the beginning, so that you would have a general idea of how the plan is constructed. At phase one, you would want to imagine various scenarios, and by that we mean when you're creating your plan, you can think about any possibility of any particular occurrence, anything that might happen in your setting that you think that you can think of, whether it is fire or hurricanes, whatever it is. You create different scenarios, and then you could start to create your plan based on those scenarios, because your plan is basically to mitigate certain eventualities. So at phase one, you would want to imagine various scenarios. At phase two,
before we go on to
go ahead.
What I would like to say is you can incorporate the brainstorming with your staff as well. So you alone don't have to go through the tediousness of thinking about everything. Some of the different scenarios and them can come from your staff members. So having a meeting and making them a part of creating the plan is even better.
Yes, and in the home, you make it a family affair.
Right, exactly.
All right. So at phase two, this is where you establish roles and responsibilities. You now establish who is responsible for what, so that there is no chaos. You don't have everybody running up and down, and you may have a duplication of roles. You might end up with 3 fire wardens because everybody wants to be in charge. So at this phase, you would want to start to develop roles and responsibilities. Who would be the chief fire warden? That's the person who is in charge of the evacuation. You would want an assistant. In the event that the chief warden is not present, you still need the evacuation to go as constructed. So you would need to have a assistant fire warden, You would have a route guide. That is the person who is responsible for making sure that the evacuation route is cleared at all times. When they come to work, they check evacuation routes to make sure it is cleared. You have fire extinguishers. These persons are responsible for extinguishing fires, making sure that those fires that can be extinguished are extinguished in proper time. And you also have flow monitors. The flow monitors are usually the last person to leave the area, and to make sure that all areas are cleared. So you have your chief warden, assistant chief warden, you have the route guides, fire extinguishers, and you have your flow monitors. And that is at phase two, when you're establishing roles and responsibilities. Yeah.
All right, so what I would like to add in terms of the phase two, the chief fire warden, it doesn't have to be the person the owner of the establishment. Within his staff, he could see somebody who is competent, who has that knowledge base about safety. That person could even be trained too. So he doesn't have to be the person in charge of the establishment. He can designate someone to be the chief fire warden. In terms of the fire extinguishers, the person who would go out and extinguish the fires. Now, we advocate persons not to be firefighters, so you only engage a fire if it is safe for you as the individual to do so. All right? And next thing too, companies They can invest in those face masks with the HEPA filters. So because we know smoke is toxic to one's health, and we have our employees who would be actively engaging in extinguishment of small fires, you can invest in these full face masks with these HEPA filters. So it would prevent them from inhaling the smoke while they assist the company in extinguishment of these fires. All right, so something to think about.
And it also helps them not to inhale the agents that is expelled from the fire extinguisher as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, and remember, if you would like to get a plan, well, they're here now, so they can correct me if I'm wrong. You can get in contact with the fire department and ask for some help.
Yes, we
Indeed.
do help persons to create a plan. We do not do the plan for you. We give you a bit of guidance as to what we're doing now, how to put a plan together. So you go, you do your research, then you call us back in, and we try to fine tune it as best as possible.
Right, right. And I remember the last time we had the discussion, the conversation, I should say. It was, well, the concern about security came up, and you were highlighting some options that you can use for your burglar bars to keep yourself safe. If you could highlight that before we wrap up, because I know we're doing a wrap up, and that was one of the things that came up in our conversation that I think it's very important to share, because maybe someone missed that conversation and listening right now, and maybe they have burglar bars and never thought about this. So it would be great if you could share that with them.
Okay, so in relation to that, what we, in our discussions, what we would have recommended, and some of the callers would have called in as well and also shared their views on that, is that houses that has burglar bars, when you're installing burglar bars, you should take into consideration that these windows that you're blocking off could actually be used as escape routes. So you would want to at least design your burglar bars in such a way that they can be opened from the inside, so that to allow you access to the outside, because in worst case scenarios, your doors may become inaccessible, but you still need to be able to exit the area. So you would need to, and the only way out of the building might be through one of these windows. So you should take that into consideration and construct the burglar bar in such a way whether it would be removed or it could be opened, like a door, something in that form, right, on hinges, so that you could also have that as an emergency exit. It is very critical that we do so. And for smaller houses that may have, those Miami, the louver type, what you call them, Miami shutters, in a case like that, that will not be possible unless you're going to hack those windows out. So when taking that into consideration, you would also have to take into consideration the type of windows that you're going to put in. So if you're going to use the burglar bars and design it in such a way that it could be open, then you will have to put in windows that can facilitate your safe exit. Means whether it is slidden across, or if it's lifted up, or it could actually be lifted out. I know those that Domus makes, that you could actually slide it out a certain way and then lift it and take it out. But whatever you decide to use, those two factors have to be taken into consideration. The type of window that you're going to use, and also having one of those windows be used as an emergency exit. It is very, very important. Very important. And in modern times, these are things we're going to have to start looking at. Way back in the day, everybody just, put up burglar bars. They keep persons out, but they also keep you in.
Exactly.
So we need to take that into consideration as well.
All right. Gentlemen, I want to thank you for being here as usual. And next week, God Spare Our Life, we can start a fresh conversation again, right here on the morning show. Take care of yourself, ladies and gentlemen. and do have a productive what's left of your day. Stay tuned. Coming up at 10:15, I'm going to be opening the lines for you to get a chance to win yourself some amazing Angostura giveaways, compliments, CNC trading. So remember the catchphrase, Angostura chill with flavor. Say that first, and then you just let me know how much you chill and refresh with Angostura and with your vibes, your friend, your family. Make up something if you want. It's all about having fun. Guys, thanks for being here. Any last words from you?
We staying for that? 10:15?
We like to, but unfortunately duty card. Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, thanks for being here once again, man.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
man.
Take
That
care.
was a pleasure.
Take care.
All right.
Yes.
This message brought to you by ZIZ and the Fire Department of St. Kitts and Nevis.
I am Woman Fire Officer Mavis White Archibald with your safety tip for today. Install smoke alarms on every level of your home, inside bedrooms and outside sleeping areas. Test smoke alarms every month. If they are not working, change the batteries.
This message was brought to you by ZIZ and the St. Kitts Nevis Fire Department.
More and more cable customers are getting their cable internet package upgraded for free.
I paid 3 months and I got upgraded from Flash to Bolt. So now I'm actually paying less for more.
Yes, up to double speeds and savings of up to $200 per month just for using your card to pay your bill.
I had this Bolt package, then I got this platinum card and I paid my bill with that. They have upgraded me to Strike, which is almost double the speed now.
All it takes is a little loyalty. Use your Cable Platinum Loyalty MasterCard to pay 3 consecutive cable bills.
I was upgraded from Flash to the Bolt after paying my bill on time for 3 consecutive months, and I'm now enjoying the free upgrade.
To keep the upgrade, just continue using your Platinum Loyalty Card to pay your cable bills. Pay your bill in-store or online at www.thecable.net. Sign up for the Cable Platinum Loyalty Card today and get more. Terms and conditions.
Are you between the ages of 13 and 29 and want your voice to be heard on issues concerning young people? Then sign up to U-Report OECS to make a difference on matters that concern you. U-Report is free to join. All you have to do is send the word JOIN to Facebook Messenger U-Report OECS or WhatsApp 758-286-2124. U-Report sends you a poll on your phone, you answer, and the collected data is shared with policymakers. Be a part of this global change movement. Join U-Report now. Our voice matters.
As I woke up this morning, the morning show on me mind, oh my. You don't know it's about Ruckus HE High Energy, the Groovy Monarch King for 2016. Bigging up the man called GQ on the morning show. You don't know everything sexy, everything slap. Yo, GQ, are you run it? Sway, sway to the left, sway, sway to the right. Boom.
Think these people asking, one to the king. For 3 years now the man is singing a thing. From a hero to a calypso maestro, you can't even make the final show. Here comes Sakoti and Anestella. The better move forward, come to the Sri Lanka is in the
I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gon' be safe. One kind, one people. We are roll up to roll up. Cause no man is Choose alone, do what's right. Cause I love you. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to let it all out.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
I will take the vaccine because building defenses against COVID-19 is a team effort, and we are all a key part of that defense.
I definitely will be taking the vaccine when it's my turn.
I will be taking the vaccine as it is an important tool in the fight against the pandemic. It is important for me to vaccinate to ensure that if I do become infected with the disease, it can prevent hospitalization. In addition, it also helps with herd immunity.
I will take the vaccine to protect myself, my loved ones, my clan, my co-workers, my community.
St. Kitts and Nevis, why do we need to vaccinate? Anita? So we can jab COVID-19 away.
Today we are at the Newtown Health Center where we had the official launch of the COVID-19 program. We're so pleased to have had quite who were represented here today. We had members of the cabinet, and we had quite a number of other persons from the clergy, from immigration, from police. The ministers were all here to take their first dose of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. And so we all got our COVID-19 vaccination card to indicate that we would have taken our first dose of the vaccine. Once we come back in 10 weeks, we will have our second dose, and then once we got that second dose, then the card will be stamped at the front with the Ministry of Health stamp, and that is to finalize it to take both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. I remind that the vaccine helps us to ensure that persons do not have severe illness or death, and so we're encouraging persons to step forward and take the vaccine. Get all the facts that you need to get. The Ministry of Health provides all of the information. Facts on the vaccine are on the covid19.gov.kn website. And so we ask you and urging each and everyone to come out and get your vaccine. Look at the information, get all the information that you need. That will make you comfortable. But I can assure you that we have all taken it so far, and I'm feeling good. My arm's good.
Oh
it
boy,
was a
I'm telling you,
vaccine,
sounds
and so I'm
Ayatollah
excited
coming
about
at you
that.
all over your radio, man. 3 long years. Gone, but definitely not forgotten. Yes, definitely not forgotten, man. Coming up in just about 4 minutes, I'm going to be opening the lines for you to tell me how you chill with Angostura Chill